Is Odell Beckham Jr. done in New York? Fox Sports' Jay Glazer predicted yesterday that Odell will get traded this offseason. Odell signed a monster contract this past offseason, but his season ended for the second year in a row with an injury. Adding to that, he's been a fixture in the headlines for the wrong reasons and prone to emotional outbursts on the sideline over the last few years. Well, after Glazer's prediction, Beckham posted this cryptic tweet with 2 emojis. I guess he's keeping his mouth shut, but he's happy about it. I don't know how to interpret that one. Greg, we'll start with you. What do you think? Time to move on from the Giants?
From the Giants? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is one of your best players when healthy and when given a great opportunity to compete at a high level. And when I look at Odell Beckham, I look at a young man that we give a hard we judge him off of everything that we've seen in the past, but we overlook all the good in the pros about him. This year, even when we look at that tweet, we say, is it a cryptic tweet? He's just saying, my mouth is shut.
Within the very happy face.
In the happy face. He could be happy. What's wrong with that?
Come on,
I don't know how to read.
No, this year,
I didn't take emoji 101 in college. So
I didn't either. But coming into this year, Odell Beckham was not under contract. They signed him or he was under contract. He wanted a new deal, got a new deal, big contract, and everybody's like, don't pay him. Why would you pay him? He brings all this other stuff. Did we have any issue with Odell this year? No. Did the Giants have any issue with Odell Beckham?
The Lil Wayne interview.
No.
That was it. That wasn't that bad. I'm with you.
There was nothing wrong with that. My point is we pick and we pry at little things to make them bigger than what they are. The fact of the matter is Odell Beckham is one of the best receivers in all of football when healthy and when having a quarterback that can get him the football. Sorry to hurt you and make you cry and tear up a little bit, Jamie, about Eli, but that's the problem in New York. When I look at Odell Beckham, his stats last year, he had 77 receptions. As a wide receiver, being that effective, your running back had 91, Saquon Barkley. Love everything about Saquon Barkley, but it tells me that Eli Manning is not pushing the ball down the field. He is going to dink and dunk. He's going to go check down first. So you can't even utilize the asset that you really have in an Odell Beckham. Where's he most effective? Down the field, putting pressure on the secondary in deep thirds. Eli Manning doesn't thrive in that area. That's not his level of expertise. He wants to dink and dunk. Look at the Giants. They were 4th in the National Football League in yards after the catch with 2,108 yards after the catch. These are all yards, mind you, that goes to the quarterback statistics. Yards, that means when you throw me the ball, whether it be at 2 yards, 10 or 15, and I get an extra 30, 40, I credit that to you. That's my work. And so when I'm looking at what the Giants have done, they continue to mask how bad Eli Manning really is because of how great they are with the ball after getting it in their possession. And Saquon Barkley has a lot to do with that. Sterling Shepard has a lot to do with that. And Odell Beckham, more than probably any, has even more to do with that.
Now, Greg, I'm an Odell Beckham. I like him as a receiver. I enjoy watching him. He's one of the best. But the argument you're making, if that's the case, Eli hasn't changed. He shouldn't have signed a deal in New York.
He has changed.
No, I'm not talking about. No. I'm talking about
Odell.
If Eli can't do those things, that hasn't changed since he signed that contract. That was already going on. Is what I'm saying to you is he shouldn't have signed on with Eli knowing that he's going to be the quarterback. He should have asked the Giants to move him because he can't use his talent.
Come on now.
I'm not going to buy that.
If Odell Beckham goes outright and says, no, I'm not signing until you move Eli Manning, what would we be talking about? He's selfish.
I don't want to sign here because the offense and what you do here doesn't enhance my talent. You can't tell me that after the fact, Greg. It would be different if Eli was throwing the ball downfield, and now he's not.
5 years,
it's not your turn yet. Can I go? Yes. You can't use that, Greg.
No,
you can't use that. Tom Brady dinks and dunks all over the field. They praise Tom Brady.
Well, he wins Super Bowl.
Now you're going to tell me that Eli, because he dinks and dunks, you shouldn't count the yards for him? Come on now, that ain't right. And I'm on Odell Beckham Jr.'s side. I don't have a problem. He's wired different. I don't want a choir boy. I don't want everybody to be the same. I remember Rasheed Wallace in Detroit. Everybody would say, Rasheed, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? That's how he's wired. That's why they won a championship. They needed a guy like that. I don't have a problem with the off the field and him being him. But don't tell me that about the Eli thing is the reason that he's going to act out. You shouldn't have signed there. If
Eli's no problem.
Eli's no good. I said that for 2 years. He's no good.
Hold on, but here's the thing.
No, but I don't buy your argument that it's all about, okay, because Eli is not doing what he wants. He knew that when he signed the contract. Yes or no, Greg? Did he not know that?
He did know that, but he also had the idea that everyone else has. Oh, this time with Eli is almost
right.
Up. We're going to be getting somebody else to take its place.
But he didn't know who that was going to be.
It doesn't matter.
Why?
It doesn't matter, but that's
opinion. Moved on from Eli.
Yes, but I'm just telling you, when he signed the contract, Eli was in praise.
But here's the thing. Greg was not saying Odell's acting out because he's frustrated with Eli. Because number one, he's not acting out. He just said
no, but you're saying why he's not happy, though, right?
He didn't say he's not happy. His emoji has cheeks, right? That means you're happy. I mean, all Greg said, he said he hasn't been a problem this whole past season, which he wasn't. Even like you said, the Lil Wayne thing wasn't a big deal. People made it a big deal. He hasn't acted out. What he said is that, first of all, he's got great production, 77 catches. I mean, it's not where he should be.
No, he missed 4 games.
Right.
He got it.
He had good production, and he would have better if he had a better
Greg,
quarterback.
you know this too. I get that. I'm telling you, Eli's finished. I told you that, Chris.
So why are you defending?
I agree. But I'm going to say this. You can accept any other stuff that OBJ's doing when you win. When you don't win, people look at all the other stuff, and I think that's why. I'm not saying it's his fault that the Giants didn't win. This is 2 years in a row where the Giants were stinky, weren't good. So when you look at that, people have a tendency to frown on a guy who's making a lot of money. His production is just okay, and you might say, was it great?
He's wildly viewed, Rob, as one of the best receivers.
I agree with that.
Widely viewed. So nobody's
Wait. You're saying his production was okay. You give him 4 more games.
When you don't win, it's okay.
Let me tell.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver. You give him 4 more games.
Right.
He ends up with at least 1,300 yards.
But did it translate to winning?
Okay, let me answer that for you, Rob.
No, because their team is just not good.
I agree.
Let me answer that.
Specifically at the quarterback position.
As a wide receiver, your wins, obviously, wide receivers are very important, but you look at some of the best ones in the league. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen. None of them made the playoffs. It wasn't that they can't produce, that they're not one of the best receivers in the league. It was that the team wasn't good enough. And in some cases, the quarterback wasn't good enough.
That's funny, because when you did the quarterbacks, you named those guys.
The only top receivers that really made the playoffs were from the Rams and the Chiefs. And they have great quarterbacks. So I'm saying, for those fans that want to look at Odell and say, you know what, we should move him because as good as he is, we aren't winning. No, that's not the receiver's fault. Get him a better team, build around him, and you guys can win.
My argument is with the whole quarterback situation. All I'm saying is, if he knew that he was going to be in the spot, and the Giants let everybody know that Eli was coming back, Eli was going to stay in that spot, he shouldn't have signed there. If Eli
He's
can't
not complaining, though. OBJ isn't complaining, Rob.
But my point to that, Rob, is if Odell Beckham comes out and says, I don't want to be here.
He doesn't have to say it publicly.
No. If he says it to anyone, some way, somehow, we're going to find out about it. You want to know why? Because they're going to blast whatever he says and project it in a way to make him look like the typical receiver. Diva, selfish, Odell Beckham. It's all about him.
What was the name that he was? What team was he linked with before he had gotten the deal? Oh yeah, you know why? Because they scored 33 points. They throw the ball down the field. I don't blame him.
But the rumor was that the Giants were looking to trade him. They were looking to trade him.
I just feel
I'm sure he would rather be with the Rams.
The question is it time for the Giants to move on?
I said no.
No, they should not move on. They should not move on from Odell Beckham. He's a young player with mass production lying ahead of him. No, I'm not even talking about what he's done. He has so much more that he yet can still do. Eli Manning is offensively, because defensively, we're not going to even open that door. That's a big Pandora's box that needs to be just kept closed. Offensively, Eli Manning is the problem.
Right.
He's the one that should be out, not Odell Beckham.
I said it 2 years ago. So
they should have drafted a quarterback last year.
We talked about it on the radio.
I don't mind them not drafting the quarterback because you got Saquon Barkley.
I need a quarterback more than a running back.
Yes.
You got Saquon Barkley, so you
okay. Then draft Dwayne Haskins if you can this year.
Well, Saquon Barkley didn't help Odell Beckham Jr., and that's the problem. So you might have gotten a player from the running back spot, but did you help your big wide receiver that you just paid a ton of money?
Barkley, you're right. Barkley was great. I mean, he's arguably the best back in the league already. I'm just saying the quarterback position is much more important.
When we saw, there was times when Pat Shurmur's on the sideline, and Odell would come to the sideline, and he would embrace him, saying, it's okay. Like, pretty much saying, I understand. You don't have to say anything. This is why we see the zip lip emoji, because internally, they know Eli Manning is on a time clock. Like, they know Odell isn't the problem. Right. It isn't this guy. Like, we need you. We want you to stay locked in, keep your hand to the plow, keep your head down, continue to work, stay healthy, and continue to produce for us, because we'll get you what you need.
So if Jay Glazer is right and his prediction comes true, what would be the reason the Giants would have traded OBJ? That would be my question to you.
And my answer would be I would have to try to ask and find out. Period.
You would be totally stunned.
I would be stunned.
Okay.
I would
say they got blown away with the offer.
I would be stunned.
I would say that there's some internal stuff that people don't know about.
No. If you feel like you're gonna acquire more assets that can solidify your chance of winning
like that.
Well, the Giants have a lot of areas to address. So it depends on what kind of assets they can get. And thank you for not making me jump on Eli.
Are you verklempt now?
I did not want to do that. I'm not verklempt.
Okay.
But
look, and we both agree.
Should Eli still be there? No, I'm just...
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. So we're not jumping on Eli, but he's 38. It's just time.
He's bad. With the bad hair benched Eli. I was outraged by that decision.
But you know it was the right decision.
No, I don't think it was the right decision. I think that was wrong, and I think that put the entire fan base on a sympathetic side with Eli. And then last season...
So it forces this year to come to this, because they feel like, well, let's keep Eli there because the fan base is upset.
They did that last year. That was the year they appeased the fans. Okay. Now...
All right, well, I escaped that without crying. Next up, the Celtics were without Kyrie Irving again last night.